So this is just a, I thought I'd give this a try and do just like a general Q&A. I get a lot of questions, throughout the week on our to our support channel. So I thought I'd kind of open it up and just see if anybody's got any general questions. We can just edit some designs that are ours, however you'd like to do it. Pretty open format. Just kind of trying to figure out what's going to work best in this. Does anyone have anything specific that they've been stuck on, or is there any questions that you've kind of had when editing designs?
Yeah, I have one, but I'm trying to pull it up. So.
Hey, Mike, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing well. This is Angel S. I think we spoke once before. So I think I purchased one template from you. I had to send it out to get edited because I have no background in editing. I do have access to Canva, but I don't have access to Photoshop. I was hoping that you was able to showcase how to be able to use Canva to be able to edit your templates so that I don't have to send it out. Is that possible?
Gotcha. I don't have any, I don't use Canva for that, so I don't really have a whole lot of knowledge there, but I do know that Canva Pro allows for PSDs to be imported. I have done some playing around there. It seems to do overall fairly well with bringing in the layers. Fonts kind of hit and miss with it. Font effects are non-existent. It's just not capable of stuff that Photoshop is. So they become a vanilla text inside there. It'll maintain like text color, but you lose like drop shadow, outlines, embossing, any kind of effect that the design teams used with that. We do have a background project going on. We've converted, I think, 1,500 templates or something like that so far inside of Canva, and I've been playing with that a little bit. Not real happy overall with Canva's limited functionality, though it does seem to be somewhat viable. So that is kind of still being explored. Photoshop is definitely still the preferred format. A lot of it's just because of our legacy. We've been releasing templates since 2012, so it's been been a little while, and quite a bit to work back through the catalog there. I'll tell you what, I'll play with Canva this week. I'm planning on doing these like every Thursday, and if attendance is not too great, maybe every other Thursday. But I could plan to try that for you and see if I can get myself some understanding to be able to actually give you something of value. I haven't really done it myself, so I don't think I can really deliver you much value as far as from any experience. But
fair enough. I appreciate the effort. So the other two options would have been if there is an option for us to pay for edits to be done, or if you could actually, walk us through, for somebody like me who's novice, who doesn't have any Photoshop background, to see if there's like a light version of Photoshop of how to be able to use it the way you intended it to be used in like a Photoshop Lite or something like that.
Yeah, there's Photoshop Elements, and then there is Photoshop from the Creative Cloud suite. I know they've been kind of changing the licensing on the Photo Booth Elements a bit. So I think the last one I purchased was 2023. So I'm not sure if that's went to a subscription base like Creative Cloud is. But yeah, so walking through and editing, that's exactly what I was kind of planning on doing with this, just to
great. All right.
Show how it's done, and then answer any kind of specific questions that anyone has.
No, those were my concerns. I'll step back and listen to see if anybody else has any other similar issues. But thanks again for answering.
Yeah, wonderful. Thanks for asking. Stella, you said you had something specific? Oh, I lost her.
Stella's gone. Can I just butt in there and ask, the one thing that kind of stumps me a little bit is when somebody sends in a request for a template and they've chosen colors that are other than what's on there. So, and it will give you a value, which is basically, the hashtag value. And I go, it's like primary and accent, and I think, well, what applies to what, and how do I actually apply that particular color to that particular part?
Yeah, so part of that's using the hue saturation layers. And that's just kind of due to a lot of our elements, like in this design, have different gradients and whatnot. The primary would be like the primary color that's displayed on the design. So like in this one design's case, it'll be the background. So typically it'll be labeled background, or it's going to be your bottommost layer when looking inside the layers. Can you see the layers here on my right-hand side?
Yeah.
Okay. So we always put a hue saturation layer on top of these. And then we use colorize. And that actually allows you to start adjusting and changing colors around. Now, when you get into the simpler designs, which are definitely kind of in vogue right now, you can actually just select on this layer, and you could go enter the color code that you need. And we'll just make that a bright, hideous color. But so you can actually just fill that in there. I just use the short code of, I'm horrible about that. It's Alt backspace or Control backspace, and that will pick your top color or your bottom color, and it will just fill in the layer, which is really a nice thing. I honestly don't remember how to do it without doing it with the shortcuts. Now that I think about it, there used to be a fill tool, and I don't see it. So that would be the recommendation would be to first either use the hue saturation layer. Let me see if I got anything downloaded here that'll maybe give us another background to look at.
So is the accent, is that like the border colors?
Border colors, it could be yeah, if they haven't specified a font, you kind of work it inside of there. So yeah, so it's really just trying to get that color palette and try to be able to get things going as far as, so we got the background color is going to be your primary in almost every design that we have. And then from there, you're just going to have like an accent 1, accent 2. Right. So just kind of strategically putting those into the design so that so you can somewhat meet what they've asked. They'll give you a little bit of feedback, I'm sure, when you first send it back to them. But that's usually how with our business that we do it.
Yeah.
So here's another one, for example. So using some hue saturation layers, and black's a very common one that we'll get a question for. And it's like, how do I change the color of black if I can't fill it? Filling would be the first recommendation if it's a simple one, but it actually is the lightness bar that will control that. So as I move this, you'll see that I'm able to get a little bit more or less color in there.
Mm.
And then saturation will give you like a strong, vivid color, right? So as we back that down, we head towards grayscale. So whenever you're wanting to desaturate anything, you just move that saturation to the left-hand side. If you want to keep it kind of a warm, you can bring it down into here and then start moving into some of your warm grays by getting into the warmer yellows and oranges and reds. So those will give you just a little bit of warmth versus a completely sterile gray. So you can kind of pull in some stuff there. One thing I will say, as far as your question for a specific like hex code, what I like to do personally is I'll click up on the topmost, I'll add a new layer, and then I just either use the little tool here. What is this thing called? I always forget the name. Not the marquee tool, shape tool. So do like a rectangle. Then I'll pick out the color that actually is what the customer has asked for. So let's say we're going to go for like a red. And then I will draw that shape with that color. And then what I'll do is I'll move that into the area that I'm going to edit so that I can start to manipulate those colors and get them close. And that's kind of how I start to work on trying to get into that.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, actually. Yeah.
I've also found something really cool. It's not 100%, but if you're familiar with ChatGPT, if you actually take like the color code that is in the design, and this one might be a better one because we do actually have a different colored tool, and we use the eyedropper, and you just select on that main color, it'll give you a hex code. I don't believe that that's white. Yeah. There we go. So it's kind of like a taupe or something like that. So you would enter this hex code, and then you'd enter the second, the chosen one, and you can literally tell it, give me the values for the hue saturation layer inside Photoshop using colorize, which is an important thing that we want to always make sure that we check the colorize functionality, because without it, we're just manipulating what exists already. But when we go into the colorize, we can get strong colors. But if you tell it those specific things, it will actually come back and tell you 3 values, which are going to be your hue value, your saturation value, and your lightness value. And it will get you really close if it does not nail it right out of the gate. I've been using that a lot here lately because I hadn't been doing a bunch of edits for a while. So I was a little rusty, and boy, if you don't stay on it, you will get a little rusty at times. So that is a little tip that I just recently started using myself that works really well.
Hey, Mike, can I ask you a question?
Absolutely. That's Scott.
Hi, Mike. Hey, what program are you in that you're changing the colors on the template?
This is Photoshop CC, so it's Creative Cloud, which is the recommendation that I would recommend for people to use. But Photoshop Elements, which is a lighter version, you can usually, don't quote me on it, I haven't bought it for a few years. You used to be able to buy it without having to do the subscription, so it's like $150 or something like that, and it's capable of editing our designs perfectly fine. You don't need necessarily the full-blown Photoshop. It's nice. A lot of our tutorials are going to be done in it because that's just what we use as the tool. But the Photoshop Elements works really well too. They really brought a lot of nice functionality in that used to be missing, like layer groups. Those used to be missing, and that's why whenever we do send over files, you'll see there's actually a -elements PSD file, and that is actually for old versions of Photoshop Elements that did not support layer groups. So yeah, my recommendation would be check out Photoshop Elements, and unless you plan on doing some of the other edits, like they used to have a what would they call that thing? Photographer's package or something like that. Photographer's bundle. It was really nice. I know they got rid of it here in the last year or two, but it was Lightroom plus Photoshop for like $20 a month. It was great. I think too many people were using it, so they got rid of it. So yeah, Photoshop would be what we would want you to preferably use, because that'll be the easiest way for us to help you, as we would both be using the same thing then. Is everyone familiar with locating like the fonts and stuff when you download a template from us? If you're editing our text, or even if you're using another editor, if you put the same fonts, at least on the system, you can get a similar look. Now I'll just show you real quick inside of our README HTML files. There, all of the fonts are going to be linked down in the font section, and you just click on those, and it'll take you right out to where to download that. And you just install it on your machine. Looks like we got a bad link there. We did notice one thing. Google did a wonderful thing to us. They changed their URL on us. So we are working through the things, but if you just take that name and type it into Google Fonts, it'll pull it up for you. That was a really nice thing they did to us here in recent months that nobody caught for a while. Oh, I see a computer screen. What do you got here? This is Stella.
Yeah, it's me. I have a trouble with this right here. I don't know if you can see it big enough.
Mm-hmm.
But my problem is these right here. Right here, there's a big gap here. And then to move this, to move the frame, you can't just move them. You can move it. You can't move them digitally. You got to move all three together. Is that correct?
Yeah, they're not like our designs really weren't made to be moved around per se, because then all the XY coordinates are off.
Okay.
Is there a reason you'd move the frame? You're moving the
The
frame?
reason why is on my, I need to shut my computer down here soon because it's starting to act up, as you can see right here. Right here, the frame goes all the way down to here like this. Then you have this big gap up here.
Mm-hmm.
See how much gap you have up here? That's what I'm like. I'm trying to tell the lady that we don't need this right here, but she wants that. And believe me, I haven't been doing this for a while. I've been off of work, off and on for the past, say, about 3 or 4 years. But I had some major surgeries done, and now I'm trying to get back into it because people have been calling me. But she wants this corner flower stuff. To me, I think it's nice, but that's up to her. But I had to
She
have
wants it
somebody.
removed?
No, she wants it. She wants it there. And like I say, there's a big gap right up here.
Mm-hmm.
I moved it up just a little bit. Bigger gap than this before. And I had to move all this up. Then I had to move all these flowers, each like this. Then I move this up by itself, that by itself.
Yeah. Yeah, they really broke down to allow you to adjust individual colors. That's
Did
kind
they?
of yeah, that's why we separate that. Otherwise, if we group it all together, then we get asked to be able to change the color of the flower and not the leaves. So that's why you'll find stuff like that.
Uh-huh.
That looks like that one's probably an extra busy design.
Oh, yeah, it is. Thanks.
Yeah.
But
Do you recall the name of that template?
Shoot, I don't remember.
Okay. I was gonna say if you remembered, I was going to download it.
Oh, it's hold on, there's the folder.
If you have the folder and you open the README file, it'll tell the name in there.
In here?
README.html. Nope, go back up.
Go back up?
There should be an HTML file in there.
Which one?
Where it says Microsoft Edge HTML.
Microsoft. Oh, I'm sorry.
So what's that name there at the very top?
Very top. Where did you see that at? That right here?
Wedding. Yeah, is it Floral Wedding or has it got something on the front of it? I can't
it's
quite
see. BOHO.
Oh, boho floor. Okay. Let me see if I can pull that one up here real quick.
And my thing is, do I have to keep the frame there? Can I not leave the frame in and just put another frame in when I go to the dark room?
Okay, so you use darkroom booth? Is that what I heard?
Yes, I do. That's what I use, yes.
Okay. Yeah, so once you would move stuff around, the starter files we have for that would no longer apply, but not the biggest deal to drag around inside of their stuff. All right. So I did notice looking at your screen, it doesn't look like you had used the technique that I shared for turning a double into a single strip. I don't know if anyone ever run that.
I didn't do that, right?
It looks a little bit. Maybe you did.
So I thought you do. If you go to image, then you hit canvas size, and you hit this right here. Right. Then you had to hit leave it at 620, and redo it again. Hit canvas size again, and then do this 600 to 1800, right?
Okay. Yeah. No, that's it. Okay.
Is that how you do it?
You're still at the 620 by 1844. That's why I was just a little bit wondering. I noticed there was still a bleed on the left-hand side there.
Oh, right here?
Yeah, so we would go going, why is it giving me that? Where's my, there we go. Canvas size. So yeah, left anchor, 620. This just splits it at the cut line. And then, yeah, we come back, we go canvas size, then right anchor and middle. and then you can go 600 and then 1800, and you'll see it trims it on up, and then that makes everything balanced. Maybe you're there. All right, so
Okay, yeah.
all these
I
little
lost
guys
everything.
you want to move up, correct?
I lost everything. Where's everything at?
Yeah, I think your GPU is a little bit tired.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I need to really shut it down. And I'm honest. I'm not gonna lie to you.
All right, so it looks like inside of this overlay is where all of these leaves and stuff, and as everyone can see, there are a bunch in this particular design. I actually talked to the designers about grouping these in a logical manner, so we shouldn't have new ones that look like this. But let me show you a little trick that might help you a little bit.
Mhm.
So if you go to the move tool, and then in the top toolbar, if you click auto select, and then click on the elements you're looking at, it was, oh, here we go. So it's there. So they are together, I see. So they are an individual, which is good. And then if you hold down control, you can keep adding to these and grabbing all these different elements. There's a
Okay.
shift. Yeah, this one's kind of, yeah, I see why you're,
Frustrated?
yeah, there we go. Start with
Ready
the
to
back
drink? Yeah.
control. I've never seen one behave like this. That's interesting. All right. There we go. It's shift. I told you wrong. So you can see how it's doing these multi-selects now. So I've got 4 layers. Did it miss one? Yeah, see, it missed that one. So if you hold the control button, you can click on any layer and group it with an active group. But we do have these. Oh, I just undid them. Come back and do that again. So there's that one, that one, that one. And we missed one. And then I always turn it off once I'm done doing the selection. Now we can move those guys together.
Uh-huh.
Another thing, if you're going to come back and keep this design, I like to come back and I like to link the layers. So then it doesn't matter if I just click and grab, like I've got one of them highlighted. Now they all move together.
What the heck did you do that?
So the first thing we want to do is get the elements selected that you want, right? So I'll grab a couple of them here. And you can see these are all named frame flower, frame leaf, frame leaf. So this tells me that I've got them all. And I always use the visible to check. You can right click and then go to link layers. And then that will put them all together. But they're still individual, so you can still adjust individual colors. But now they move together. And that's what I've asked designers to do on top of grouping things. This way things stay together.
That's the easy way to do it. I won't remember that. You got to email me that one. Show me how to do it again.
Yeah, and I plan on keeping these lives active on our YouTube.
Okay.
So that because I think we're going to, people find some value in these, and then I can take and hopefully convert some of these into just some shorter, condensed tips and tricks for you, everyone.
Okay. Okay. Now, how about the frame?
What's that?
How about the frame? Should I leave the frame there? Or should I just delete it? Or
well, I mean, if you're going to move everything up, I would bring them all together like that.
Ah, okay. Oh, shoot. Okay.
And to be honest, I would actually.
You can't make it bigger, can you? Can't make that frame bigger, can you?
You're going to start getting some pixelation. But I mean, you can select it and go to transform, and you could pull it up. You're just going to lose. Some designs that'll work better than others. But what happens is the edges will get a little softer. This one doesn't look too bad. So this one looks like you should be able to do that with.
Now, what'd you do with that?
So just select the frames layer,
Uh-huh.
and let me go and find the actual, sorry, I'm once again using shortcuts. Control T is transform.
Control T, Control T.
Yep. Whereas if you go to the edit menu and go under transform, and then free transforms what I'm doing.
Oh, okay, that works great. Okay.
And then since you want to move it up and make them a little wider, then I would just bring it, drag it up. The reason you're seeing it kind of zoom off to the left, it's because there's still this other one there right now. So it's actually centering off of that one.
Okay. Oh, okay, that works nice. Oh boy, that's a new trick. Thank you.
You're welcome. And another trick to kind of help get rid of like them other frames, if we trim transparent, it'll get rid of everything. And you can see now I have a center here. So now it starts to scale much better. Still not quite centered up, but
That's good. Okay. Now,
it's actually,
go ahead. Now, there's numbers like the photo 2, photo 1, X and Y. Should we leave them in there until we go to dark room? Should we take them out now?
I mean, that's a personal preference. I don't leave them in.
Okay.
They live under the photo spots layer.
Okay.
Okay. And really, for the most part anymore, I usually just work with a single overlay.
Okay.
And a trick that we do have out there that I don't know if everyone's seen or not is, so if you come to this coordinates layer and you hold Control and then click on the little thumbnail, it'll bring up the little marching ants here, right? And then if we select on background and we invert our selection, and the last step here, we come down here and we're going to click our layer mask, and now knocks that out, makes it a single layer. So then you can export a single PNG file instead of having a background plus an overlay PNG.
Okay.
And that can be done with any of our designs. Yeah, so from there you just do a PNG transparency, export it out.
Okay.
Does that answer your questions?
Yes, it did. Thank
Awesome.
you.
Anyone else got anything in particular? Does everybody typically edit their designs, or are you using more of the background and the overlay that we provide, like when you download, and then using a third party to put in text?
Say that again?
I was asking if, oh, there we go. Sorry.
Yeah.
Steven did find that. If anyone uses just our, like the colors scheme that we provide, or do you open it up and edit it?
Yeah, right now I'm using third party because I don't know how to edit yet, but intentions are to learn it.
Okay. Yeah, I've actually looked at trying to offer that kind of service ourselves. So it's more different. I don't have enough personal bandwidth, so I'm looking to see if maybe I can get somebody to be interested in assisting with that.
Yeah, other service providers have it included as part of the service, but I'm looking at Adobe. Which license is it? Is it just Photoshop by itself or the creative license?
If you look in the chat, Stephen Murphy put up the plan. Let's see here.
Thank you, Stephen.
So they do have the photography bundle still. Okay. Honestly, that's the one I'd use. I use other apps out of the Creative Cloud, so I do have Creative Cloud, but yeah, I mean that's a really good deal, and it also gives you Lightroom. So if you do photography, you get Lightroom on top of the Photoshop license, and I think it's 2 devices is I think what you can license on them. I've never really used their storage cloud or anything like that, but
So the Creative Cloud Pro is the.
This is like the full suite of Adobe apps. That's got Premiere Pro, After Effects, a bunch of video editing type software. So the photography one in the middle is the one I would recommend.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought they'd gotten rid of that. Thanks, Stephen. And there are some, like he's listed there, some alternatives. All of those you'll find rasterize fonts unless they've updated since the last time I've used them. But they used to rasterize the font, which made it no longer editable. It's just a bitmap. Aside from that, though, they do a pretty good job. I've never really used Photopea. GIMP and Paint.net I've used.
Yeah, the new version of GIMP, if you have the fonts installed, I believe works properly. Same thing. Paint.net has a hard time with PSD files, but if you're taking the PNGs and editing those, then it works.
Oh, it uses like a layered PNG.
Yeah, because
Okay.
I use the free version of Canva, so it doesn't do transparent PNGs. So
Right.
I'll download it from Canva, without the clear, and then drop it into Paint.net and just use the Smart Select and clear it out the empty spaces for my photos.
Okay.
But I also have Photoshop, so like it's just whatever's faster in my workflow in that moment.
Understood. Okay, well, that's good to know. Yeah, maybe I need to check out the new GIMP and see if it is actually able to edit text or not from one of our Photoshop files. That was the only thing that I remembered it not being able to do, and other than the interface was counterintuitive to me because it wasn't much like Photoshop, and that's what I've used for 20 plus years. So
Yeah,
hard to teach
the
us.
stress of the stress of not trying to find support for GIMP to do what we need to do is worth the $20 a month.
Right. You can always post to the forum, right? Is there anything else that anyone would like to see in particular done? And if
So
not,
when you get done saving these files, did you save in PNG files or JPEG?
the only time that it matters is if you are doing a image with transparency. So background files wouldn't matter, but if it's going in front of the photos, that needs to be a PNG, and you need to make sure you check the transparency option. So when you go to export, you'll want to make sure you click this checkbox, transparency, and it'll give you. Let me hide that real quick. Just so you can see, because in the preview it will actually show you that when you do JPEG, it's going to fill all those in white. So that'll kind of tell you that you got the wrong selection. Same thing will happen if you uncheck that; it turns white.
That's a different screen. What's screen that from?
That is the export, not for legacy, but doing export as. I just use the shortcut, which is the Alt-Shift-Control-W, and that'll bring that up. Or you can go to, like I said, you can go to File, Export.
Oh, okay.
So this is the preferred method by Adobe now. It'll actually output high fidelity images, and it does a much better job of compression. Sometimes you use the other one, you get some really large files, which for odd reasons we've not been able to figure out. I suspect they were having a problem figuring it out too, and that's why they released a new way to do it. But yeah, that would be the preferred way or recommended way from Adobe to export files.
Okay, so you hit small files when you don't check that off, do you?
I do not check that off.
Okay, I thought you.
Yeah, because what'll happen is when you click that, it turns into a GIF.
Okay.
Yeah, you really don't want that. We want to keep the 24-bit and not go down to 8-bit. That means there's only 256 colors.
Okay.
sometimes when I'm exporting using the utility that like they just showed, and I have added like additional graphics like sponsor logos and stuff, they don't come out on the the exported PNG until I go back and like flatten the image or render the layer
From inside Photoshop?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have a good example to think of right now for it, but it was like I added logos and stuff, and then it wasn't in the export, so I had to go back in, and then I had to flatten it, and then it worked. It was just, I don't know.
Interesting. Yeah.
Might be my workflow. I don't know.
Yeah, I haven't heard of that. And I haven't personally experienced it. Let's bring in good old Acme for everybody, right? Everybody knows that. Oh, look at there. Pulled it off of Google and it saved the transparency on it. Grab a better one. And everybody's using WebP these days. Just want a quick demo logo to use. There we go. There's an Acme. So let's bring it up to the top. So you're saying when you used the export, it didn't bring this, it wasn't present on the
Right, but it was like hit or miss too, because I had like multiple logos, so it was like
yeah,
three out of 5 rendered properly. So I couldn't figure out why, because they were all PNGs I'd gone through and like edited, saved, and then brought into the template.
I was trying to think of a reason that could possibly happen. And you're using the export as window?
Yeah. Oh, maybe I was doing the quick export, but still.
Still shouldn't have mattered.
Yeah.
The only thing that I could think that could potentially do that is maybe, it should auto apply like any transforms you were doing, but if it was maybe stuck in this weird state. But yeah, I've not personally experienced that, and I can't think of anything off the top of my head that would cause that. Yeah, it seems to have exported fine.
Cool.
That's an interesting one. Another one we get a lot of questions about is like these gold frames, like on this design. And then people want to do silver, and do that with just like the desaturation. Makes them pop a little bit, like just to get rid of the yellows out of it, and then you get a little bit of a shiny silver in there that stands out a little bit better. Well, if nobody has any other questions, unfortunately, this time went really fast.
Thank you, Mike.
Yeah, we'll probably call this for today. But like I said, I do plan on doing these at least for in the short term every week, and then depending on turnout, bi-weekly. So maybe next week I'll plan on just I'll grab a couple sample widget requests, and we'll just do those live and make those changes and see how that flow works.
Great. Thank you, Michael.
Yep,
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Mike.
Great week.